Palestine is, when we talk about Palestine, we talk about over 72 years of occupation. We talk about one of the last forms of settler colonialism on Earth. It's a big subject. We cannot cover all of that, unfortunately, in 10 minutes. We talk about global imperialism represented by the State of Israel or the Zionist entity, killing, imprisoning, displacing millions of Palestinians throughout these years. So although I might not be able to cover everything, but I'll try to cover as much as I can today. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the end of this conversation, and I'll be happy to share my contact information with you as well. And to start my talk, I would actually like to start with something anti-war and anti-imperialist Arabs say a lot. We say, "وصل الذي لا شيء قاصد يوصل الله مشبوها." And a compass that doesn't point to Palestine is crooked, misleading, and misguiding compass. We think that the glue that connects all the struggles around the world is Palestine, and the moral compass that we use in analyzing any conflict around the world is the Palestinian conflict. We look at the sides of the conflict and we see where they stand from the Palestinian liberation movement and from the Zionist entity. And this is how we decide who's good and who's bad. They talked a lot today about Venezuela, about Iran, about Lebanon, Syria, Philippines, and you can see that you can easily tell who's the good person and who's the bad person by just seeing where they stand from the Palestinian issue. They talked about the Palestinian, they talked about Venezuela, and we know that the democratically elected President Maduro is a big supporter of the Palestinian rights. On the other hand of that coin, there is Guaido, big-time right-wing co-leader supported by Israel and Trump. Same thing in England, same thing here in this country. We know IPAC's influence on the politicians. We know the anti-Semitic accusations that anyone who speaks in favor of the Palestinians is subjected to, from all kind of representatives, political Cortez, Sheila Tlaib, and Omar, and even Bernie Sanders. So these kind of accusations, on the other side of this conflict, you see Trump, our current president, who's not only a big supporter of Israel, he's actually, I think he's in partnership with Israel in killing the Palestinian people. He was described by Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, as the best friend Israel has ever had in the White House. If I want to apply that compass here, that means that he's the worst president this country has ever seen. I do not think that anyone in this room is agree with this statement. So how did all of that start? How did Palestine become for millions of people the compass and moral compass that defines what kind of person you are, whether you are a good or a bad person? There's a lot of talk about, I do not have time to go through all the history, but I think you should talk a little bit about how this conflict started in order to understand what's going on today. As most of you know, in 1917, colonial England gave the Zionist movement a promise, the Balfour Declaration, which is a promise to give them the land of Palestine to live in. And maybe we should stop a little bit here and talk about the Zionist movement. And if we understand why it's racist and what movement it is, it'll explain everything that they have done. The Zionism movement is not only a movement that our goals are to unite the Jewish people. They want to unite the Jewish people under a common goal, which is establish a country for them in Palestine. And this is the main problem. Like, there's no difference between, they say that it's an ethnicity, it's not only a religion. The Zionists claim that. And if we want to say that we want to establish a country only for one race or one ethnicity, that is no different than saying I want to establish a country for only Sunni Muslims, like ISIS say. And this is what it stands for. The Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or KKK members will march here in the street of Portland and saying I want only a white country. That means that you will not have any rights for any other kind of people. What makes Zionism movement is even more dangerous than KKK and ISIS is that it's not only a movement that marches the streets. It's actually a country. It has representatives all around the world. It has embassies. It has the biggest militia on earth, the Israeli occupation army, and this is what makes it more dangerous than any other racist movement. So, I actually want to talk about after the Balfour Declaration in 1917, the Zionist Jews started migrating to the land of Palestine. They tried to acquire some lands by buying them, and they bought up 2.5% of the historical Palestine until 1947. And unlike some white supremacists here today, Palestinians were never against migration. Palestinians were, if you trace back their letters to the Ottoman Empire, they clearly say that they do not have any problem with anyone migrating to their lands, but they do have a problem with the Zionist movement buying lands and kicking out the Arab contents and the Palestinian contents out of these lands. They were trying to build a country within a country, only for Zionists. They have even their flag actually it says from Nile River to the Furat. So it's not a movement that accepts the other, and this is why I keep discussing and arguing that they do not want neither two-state solution nor a one-state solution. As long as there is a movement, a racist movement that represented by the Zionism and the state of Israel, Palestinians will never have their rights. So they migrated to the land of Palestine. In 1947, there was the partition plan. The partition plan, which is the first two-state solution. And in the partition plan, the Zionist movement was granted, and that was the first time that the international community actually failed the Palestinians. And they lived up to that dream up till today. Actually, they're still failing the Palestinians. In 1947, they gave them half Palestine, 48% almost from the land of Palestine. Palestinians obviously refused. Israelis didn't care, and they took more than 48% of Palestine anyway, by war, causing over 800,000 Palestinian refugees going to neighboring country, and some of them to Gaza Strip. Actually, 80% of Gaza Strip are refugees. And this is why the whole idea of Great March of Return started, because those are the people that, those are not from Gaza. 80% of them are from cities like Jaffa and Haifa and cities within Israel. So how does it look today so how does it look today in Palestine? It's divided like a cake. There's a Gaza Strip that has been on a blockade since for over 15 years now. There is the West Bank. Every day that passes, there are more and more settlements that grows in it, and there are the main problem of the Palestinian refugees, over 7 million Palestinian refugees worldwide. And here I want to talk a little bit about the deal of the century, or what is known as peace plan or prosperity. I don't know what they call it, which is the Trump's peace plan for peace. A lot of problems with this plan. First of all, it doesn't solve the main two issues within the Palestinian cause, which is the Palestinian refugees in Jerusalem, which is like how to divide the lands. Palestinians, we know that all of this land is Palestine, but we agreed to give half of it to the Israelis in order to achieve peace. We didn't understand that this will not solve the problem. But when it comes to the land, Trump's plan doesn't give us back any land that was taken. It keeps all the settlements as they are. It doesn't allow any refugees to come back to Palestine. And not only that, it doesn't give us a country. It says that it's a peace plan. There are two countries. There's no two states. Palestinians do not have sovereignty over their land, over their borders, over their economic trades, or even over their alliances. Like they cannot form any alliance with any neighboring countries without the permission of Israelis. So it's not a state. It's not a state. This is a justification to establish an apartheid, because simply the Zionist movement do not want to give Palestinians full rights in their community to vote, because demographically there are more of us than them, and they do not want at the same time to let go of any lands that they already acquired. So they do not want to form another state for us. So how do they solve that problem? By apartheid. We will just leave millions of Palestinians to live in that area, no rights. We can strip their lands, take them whenever we want, and the international community is just looking at us without doing anything. So how did the U.S., what's the role that the U.S. is playing in all of that? Well, I mean, if we want to start from the beginning, the U.S. was actually the first country that ever recognized Israel as a state in the world. Legally, there were over 45 or 46 times the U.S. used the veto right in the Security Council, and that was actually one of them. Not one of them. It was the reason why the Palestinians did not have a state. There's the funds they give Israel over $4 billion every year since the establishment of the state of Israel. That's more than what Israel paid in taxes for the country. And not only, well, I said earlier that it's a partnership, not only a support now, because when Trump declared such a peace plan, that means that there were still hundreds of thousands of people crossing in Gaza. There are hundreds of thousands of Palestinians crossing in Jerusalem and West Bank, and there are people losing their lives. And when they were doing the celebration of moving the embassy to Jerusalem, 46 people died that day on Gaza Strip. So yes, it's a partnership, not only a support. And I think that we should all support the Palestinian people because it's distant. All occupations are distant to end at the end of at the end, because it's in the human nature for Palestinians and for everyone else to fight against occupation, to fight against racism, and to fight against apartheid when we are subjected to them. So yes, I do think that the Israeli occupation is destined to end, but it won't end by the international community. Won't just end it by the United Nations and by using the United Nations and the Security Council in doing so. They will end it by resistance. They will end it by resistance by all means. And we should not allow Israeli and American media to dehumanize the Palestinians when they do these resistant acts. We should support the Palestinians, and we should support the resistance movement, because the Middle East will not see peace. Palestine will never see peace, and the whole world will not see peace until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions.